Hello, and welcome to another MonTamer Maker tutorial, or MonMae for short. In this video, I'll be showing you how to work with doors in MonMae. First, we'll learn some of the basics of Game Maker. Next, we'll learn how to work with door instances. We'll then work on setting some XY offsets on the doors. And then finally, we'll add the doors to a room. Let's get started. Let's start by learning the basics of Game Maker. Here on the left side we have the asset browser, where you can find everything related to Game Maker. The objects, the rooms, the scripts, the sprites. Everything in your project you'll find in the asset browser, and it's the main way to access everything. You can move the asset browser anywhere you want, to the right, to the left. You can move it down below if you want to and dock it down there, or you can even move it to the middle and have it be its own window if you'd like this. For our purposes though, we'll be moving the asset browser to the left side and leaving it there docked. The rooms is where the majority of this tutorial will take place. Here we have RM houses, which is one of the houses inside of the MonMae project. Inside of a room, we can zoom in to view the details of the tiles in that room. You can also hold space and hold the left mouse button to move around the room. Here on the left side, we have the layer properties window. In this window, we can see all the layers that are in this room. There's collision layers, which we'll talk about in another tutorial. There's tile layers, and there's instances layers. The focus of this tutorial will be on instances. This is the layer where we can place these doors. Door instances have numbers on them, so let's talk about how to connect them. When we double-click an instance, you can see the properties of that instance. For example, here we can see the frames, the image speed, the variables, all the details on that. In order to connect two doors, for example, these two doors, we have to change the frame number. When we change the frame number, we have to make sure that there's another door with the same frame number. In this case, this door on the right has the number 2, and the one on the left has the number 2. These two doors are connected. This door and this door is also connected. This one has the number 0 and leads to the outside. So now you may be wondering, how is this door connected to the outside? Well, when we look at the properties of this door, we see the frame number is 0, but we can also click on its variables. Here in the variables, we see the room to go to, and it says RM World Map. Going back to the asset browser, if we go back to rooms and we go to RM World Map this time, we can see that this big town exists already in MonMae, and we can zoom in and we can see the player and the actual door that connects to the inside of RM houses. Now if we access the variables for this door and keep the frame at 0, you see that the room to go to here is RM houses. Okay, so how does this actually look in real gameplay? Let's take a look. Here we have the player in RM World Map. If we go inside, it works correctly. If we go outside, it takes us back to RM World Map, and we go back into RM houses. Now as you can see, these doors also work correctly. Now the sprites for the doors are not showing the correct frames, and that's because the player is not meant to see these. They're usually invisible. But for the purposes of this tutorial, we left them visible just so you can see where the doors are. Now that we know about doors, let's talk about XY offsets. As you saw in the previous gameplay video, whenever you went through a door, it wouldn't leave you to the left, or to the right of these doors. It would leave you on top of them. That's where the XY offset comes in. GameMaker runs on an XY coordinate system for its rooms. In order to set an offset, you need to add or subtract a number from your current spawn point on the door. If we open to edit the object and go into variables, we'll see there's an X offset and a Y offset. If we add 16 to this door, it'll spawn us at the other door plus 16 to the right of it. Now for this door, if we subtract 16, it'll leave us 16 pixels to the left of the door we're going to. Now how does this look in gameplay? Now as you can see, this door left us in the correct spot, and so does this door. So now you may be wondering, how do you make a door? Well, the doors so far that we've seen have been created already. So if you go into the asset browser, grab an object door, and drag it and drop it, you can even extend how big you want it, and it'll work as a door. Just remember to open its variables, and if it's going outside, make sure that the room that you're aiming for actually exists and that it's typed correctly. Also remember to set an offset. In this case, it would be a Y offset, so you can spawn below the door. Let's take a quick gameplay look after editing this door. Seems to work just fine, doesn't it? So by now, you already know how to work with doors. So how do you make them from scratch? Well, let's delete these two doors and we'll remake them. First, go into your asset browser. Make sure the asset browser is actually open. You can go to Windows and open it if it isn't. Then look for your object doors, which should be in the object section. Select it. And now we can either drag and drop it, or once it's selected in the asset browser, you can hold Alt and then you can click anywhere to set the door. Now that we have two doors set, let's edit them. We open it up and we can change the frame. Make sure both doors have the same frame number. And that's it, you're all set. These two doors are now connected. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you again for more MonMae tutorials.